So when I was a child, I was a big fan of Pokemon. I'm sorry, your music is great and all, but now is not the time. In other words, shut the Hey, welcome to the Existence Show, now complete with its own intro. So as I was saying, I used to be a big Pokemon fan as a child. So like any Pokemon fan with too much spare time on their hands, I started creating a Fakemon region. Since I was a child at the time, it was far from perfect, but I'm gonna tell you about it anyway. So it's called Advantrica, and it wasn't actually based on any real-life locations because it never occurred to me that every region in Pokemon has a real-world counterpart. Here's the story for my idea for this region if it was a game. The games would be called Pokemon Fire and Water, very imaginative name, I know. So you start in your apartment and you and your rival go to the professor's lab to collect your starter. The grass type, Tree Hop, is a tree frog. Its next stage, Tree Leap, is just the same Pokemon with longer legs. The final evolution, Poisodart, is very different. It is a grass and poison type, who would have guessed, and it is very stealthy and agile. As the name suggests, it fires venomous darts at its enemies. The fire type is this lion bear cub thing with a high body temperature. Yeah, I don't remember all too well since there have been many iterations of this Fakemon region. The next stage is just that but larger, and the final form is the same but buff. Finally, the water type starter is a fish. Just a fish, nothing special. The next evolution is supposed to be an axolotl, and the final evolution is a bigger axolotl. After choosing your starter, you have a battle with your rival and win because it's almost impossible to lose the first battle with your rival. And then the professor's daughter/apprentice installs the Pokédex onto your phone since the professor is old and not really up to date with modern technology. You then need to go to the next town over to register for the Pokemon League, and after doing that you arrive in the town where the first gym is located. It's a normal type gym and the town's main industry is farming livestock. After beating the gym, you continue to reach a city that is located by the ocean and has a lot of beaches. This game also has a new feature, swimming. Your rival decides to buy you a swimsuit because she knows that you need to swim to reach the gym and she also has very low expectations of you. You then swim across the water to get to the island that the gym is on. There's also an NPC on the island who will lend you a scuba suit in exchange for money so you can go underwater for 5 minutes. You then go fight the water type gym leader and get your second badge. On your way to the next town, the evil team, Team Z, or Team Z if you're American, are blocking the road. You fight a grunt, then your rival shows up and the two of you have a double battle against two more grunts, and then they leave in their helicopter. You continue down the road and run into the professor's daughter who you tell about your encounter, and she says she wonders if Team Z know about something that nobody else does, a powerful Pokemon perhaps. Afterwards you go through a cave, then come out in the next town which is situated on top of a waterfall and has an abundance of Lotads. The grass type gym is here also. You then go into a nearby forest to get to the next gym, but a fallen tree is blocking your path. So what do? You go down this random and totally not suspicious out-of-the-way trail and end up in a base owned by Team Z. After battling some grunts, you see one of the more higher-ranking members and their head scientist, Professor Cactus, looking at a machine of his invention. You then fight them in a double battle. You then leave the base to discover that the tree blocking the road has magically disappeared. You continue your way onto the fire-type gym, located on top of a freaking volcano, then you keep going until you reach a T-junction. The path on the right has been barricaded off, so you go left instead. You go through a cave, and then you come out in a town located on top of a snow-covered mountain, and then challenge the ice-type gym. You then go south, following the path that was previously barricaded, and reach a city where all of the buildings are giant metal spikes, don't ask me why, and fight the steel-type gym leader, and then continue until you reach a desert. Located in this desert is the ground-type gym, and after that you leave the desert to go to the psychic-type gym, which is located on top of a very tall building. With all 8 gym badges in hand, you continue south to reach a town which is home to the Elite Four. Originally I was going to take the anime/sword and shield approach to the Pokemon League, but I eventually decided to take the traditional Elite Four approach instead. After beating the Elite Four and the champion, you go home and shortly after you receive a letter from the region's president asking you to represent your region in the Pokemon World Championship, which is being hosted in the Advantrica region that year. You accept and make your way to the center of the region, home to a giant city with skyscrapers and its own subway, which is where you fight the champions from many other games, such as Cynthia. You are about to battle against Red in the final, and a large bird Pokemon that has never been seen before by anyone flies onto the pitch, seemingly injured. Team Z's helicopter then shows up and some grunts come down and use the machine you saw in their power space earlier to lift the bird into their helicopter. All while their leader, who for the sake of this video we'll call Robert, by hijacking the broadcast on the Jumbotron, explains how the bird is actually a legendary Pokemon named Elementar, and how he is going to harness its power to open a portal to another dimension with powerful Pokemon that he will use to overthrow the Advantican government and become a dictator, and then take over the rest of the world, etc. You then fight some grunts while their helicopter flies off to their secret headquarters. Because you didn't actually see which way the helicopter went, you ask your rival, the professor, and his daughter, who all came to the stadium to watch your battle, and they tell you it went south. The four of you go south until you reach the ocean, where you spot a totally unsuspicious-looking island. The professor says he's too old to swim across water or ride a Pokemon, and he decides to give you some potions and goes home. You and the other two people go across to the island and battle the grunts guarding the door and the receptionist inside. You battle your way deeper into the base until you arrive at the auditorium, where Robert is about to open the portal on stage and travel through with Professor Cactus and his grunts, where he notices you. He asks you to come up onto the stage, where you battle him. Even though he lost the battle, he opens the portal anyway and goes in with his grunts, while the two restrain you before going in themselves and closing the portal behind them. Your rival and the professor's daughter catch up to you, and you tell them what happened. The professor's daughter finds a way to get the portal up and running, and the three of you go through to find yourselves in another dimension. Team Z seemed to have split up and went to two different locations. Half of them went to this volcano, while the other half went to this mountain with a lake at the top. Which one you go to depends on the version you're playing on, but the story plays out roughly the same. You go to the location, battle some grunts, then confront Robert. After a more difficult battle than the last one you had with him, he tries to get the legendary dragon Pokemon he was trying to catch to attack you. The Pokemon then stomps, causing the rocky outcrop Robert just so happens to be standing on to break off, which causes him to fall to his demise. You then catch the legendary, presumably with the Master Ball you were given after becoming champion. You come back to your home dimension just in time to see Elementar escape, and the police come and arrest any members of Team Z who are left. After getting back to the mainland, the professor greets you, says he has decided to retire, and gives the position to his daughter. But wait, there's more! In the post-game, that one high-ranking member of Team Z starts a new group called Team Alpha, who want to carry on Team Z's legacy. You face off with them at this temple in the desert, where an ancient race of people used to worship Elementar before battling and catching Elementar itself. But wait, there's DLC! Just kidding, this video is long enough already. Hey, so here I am after editing the video, and oh my god, that was so tiring. I haven't actually seen any YouTube animators talk about a Fakemon region before, so I didn't really have anything to go off of when making this. Anyway, I guess that's it for me, so please sub, I guess.